so weird.
Well, regardless, we're here, we're live, and I think we got it. I'm gonna pull our pretty drinks into the picture here.
Look at gorgeous. What'd you make for us today?
I called myself a food artist just a moment ago.
Before the blackberries sunk to the bottom of the drink.
I know, my blackberries started sinking, so. So I was telling everyone, we're doing healthy beverages today, alcoholic and non-alcoholic. And I think of you when I think of this because not my favorite thing, but one of my favorite things about coming into the restaurant is your fruit infused water and how creatively like you put the different flavors together. So that's a big thing. And I use it like in my programs. I tell people that don't like to drink a lot of water, this is like a great thing to do to get you to drink more water because it's delicious. So from that spawned this idea of beverages, a little fancier than just water, and putting stuff together. So today we did I moved it out of the picture, a blackberry vanilla lime spritzer. So
good.
It's really, we tasted it to make sure, because I haven't made it in a while. So we have, all you need for it is, I have honey, a lime, blackberries, and you can use frozen too, and vanilla extract, which I think I already put away, and mint. So more than just for the decoration, we actually have mint in there. So the way that we do it is, and Pellegrino is the base. You could absolutely add Prosecco, do like a sparkling wine to this and make it, you know, an adult beverage, but we just did Pellegrino today. So what I did, and I left a little bit in here so you could see kind of what it looks like. I am the least fanciest person when it comes to kitchen gadgets, but I do have an immersion blender, which I love for beverages. So if you're like a big beverage person and you're gonna use fruit and things like that in it, I definitely recommend an immersion blender for that. Otherwise, because it's such a little amount that it's hard to do in like a blender, unless you're making a large batch, you could just mash it if you don't have it and then strain it. I don't mind the bits of fruit in it, so I don't strain mine, but you probably would rather have it strained.
Absolutely.
Right. So
the pulp has like, some people just have an aversion to it.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm like, I wasn't planning on my sweatpants being visible in the picture, but we made it so that you could sign in my pajamas. Anyway, so the way you make it is you take about a half a cup of blackberries and the juice of half a lime. I used a half teaspoon of vanilla and a small bunch of mint. I would say it probably came out to maybe a tablespoon or a little over of like the mint. I put it all together and with the honey, and honey I did about 1 teaspoon. It depends how sweet you like it. Definitely most people are gonna like it sweeter than we do, but we just used about, what did I say, a teaspoon? Little over a teaspoon. And I put it all here. You can either mash it up with whatever you have that will mash things, or you can use the immersion blender. I added, you probably are gonna need a little bit, if you're blending it, a little bit of liquid. So I poured a little bit of the Pellegrino in there just so that it would actually mix. And then we poured it over our fancy ice cubes, which you cannot see. We have those big, like golf ball size ice cubes from our fridge in our laundry room. And then you get this. So very fancy. This is your
summer refresher.
It's amazing. So a little bit of vanilla, honey, lime, blackberries, and Pellegrino, and done.
And it's full of antioxidants, man.
Full of antioxidants and totally, I mean, beyond it, and you could definitely make it without any added sweetener to it. This honey is definitely good. He actually had me add a little bit more after the initial one, but it's really, really good. And I'm going to start making these drinks more often because I haven't made them in a while.
Why have you not been doing it?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's great to use leftover fruit too, because sometimes like for breakfast or whatever, it's like, oh, I have 6 blueberries or like, you know, or blackberries. What are you gonna do if you don't feel like eating them? You know?
Yeah. And this is, and like I said, it's great because you can use frozen fruit. I've been using a lot of frozen fruit lately, just because I've not been going to the store as much, so frozen fruit is really good. And a lot of times the frozen fruit is more ripe than we have in our fridge, so it's a little bit sweeter naturally.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah. So what do you have?
Well, I wanted to talk about like, because we do fresh juice cocktails at the restaurant. So most people don't know, I was a bartender for close to 20 years.
I knew that.
No,
Yeah,
wow.
Yes.
I 3 packs of cigarettes a day. I mean, I have a past. So, this is kind of bugging me. Oh, whatever. But anyway, so alcohol companies do not have to tell you what is in the ingredients, right? None of them. The law does not come close to any spirit, beer, or winemaker. So what do you think's in it? Probably high fructose corn syrup. It's in our dog treats, you know? So what are the things, what's the most popular drink out there? A margarita, right? You know, the top margarita in the world, I think it was, I can't remember who won. It's a female bartender, I believe in Mexico City. Her margarita, best one, voted in the world, tequila and lime, right? And
That's it.
bacon and everything else. So these recipes are called for like roses, lime, triple sec, Cointreau. You know, Cointreau is great. It's orange.
Right.
Use an orange. So, you know, at the restaurant, we always keep fresh squeezed orange juice because we go through so much hibiscus margarita mix. So hibiscus, orange, and lime, and then we add a little bit of cinnamon. So those things can go into your cocktails. I must have been feeling your vibe today because I was just at the restaurant. I had to go to Straub's and get some stuff, and then I'm like, you know what? I bought a case of champagne mangoes. Totally forgot I had them. And I had to go, I ran out of Campari. I'm a big Campari drinker. So I'm like, well, I'll just do a mango Campari cocktail. And again, you can use
That sounds
fruit,
so good.
but I have fresh mango and I threw it, like, I don't have an immersion blender, Kim. I'm the idiot. And I mean,
What?
like, I had to put so much mango in here just to get that because it's a bite. Right. I would have been better off with like a NutriBullet or like some little smoothie maker. So I'm just gonna, for Matt's benefit, gonna strain my mango, right? And I usually don't, personally, I don't care. I don't strain stuff. I like the natural fiber, but again, like we discussed, so many people do not like that. And I'm not adding any sweetener to mine because one, personally, I just don't like any sweetener. It's really to your taste. And to Kim and Matt's point, you know, honey is a great way. We use agave, raw organic agave at the restaurant. Of course, as a restaurant selling, you know, to a lot of people, we have to sweeten stuff sweeter than we would have at home.
Right.
So I'm going to add about 2 ounces. Well, it's probably that, more than that. It's probably 3 ounces of just pureed mango. And this is fresh mango. Again, you can use the frozen. And I don't know, do you drink Campari? Do you two drink at all?
We're not huge. We're wine drinkers.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna get a glass. He said, okay if I have a glass of wine during this? And I'm like, sure. Or we could have just added Prosecco to yours instead of the Pellegrino. But we don't, not huge drinkers, no.
I'm a huge drinker. I drink every night. I'm not gonna, I love it. I went from
No judgment.
the wine for about 15 years on the wine, and now I'm no more wine, and I'm strictly Campari, which is an Italian liqueur, and it's really bitter. So, and it's really good for digestion. So a lot of people drink Campari after dinner. So I have my mango puree.
Definitely.
I'm just gonna add about 1.5 ounces of Campari. Look how pretty that is.
It really is.
So I'm getting the antioxidants and everything like that from, now check this out. Now I drink my stuff with water, right? Oh, you're worried you're gonna have a little too many. Maybe you're on a Zoom call with the girlfriend.
I knew she was gonna put
Just a little bit of coconut water. You're not gonna taste it at all. And then where did I put my ice? It's in another wine glass. And then ice. And then water. And that is it. And I don't need a 2-foot spoon. I always joke. I don't know where I put it. I had a spoon somewhere to stir it, but
Yeah.
and then I have the spoon. So anything goes when you're making these. Fresh lemon, orange, and lime are your best friends. You do not have a citrus juicer, and I have one that has this little device that comes down so you can actually get the lemon and the lime and the lime. And then while I was at Straub's, I bought a nectarine. Yeah, so I'm like, you can do a nectarine, same thing, throw it in the blender, use the immersion blender, a little bit of cava or prosecco. I mean, it's easy. And, you know, it depends on what the recipe calls for. If you're like, I'm going to have a cocktail on Sunday morning and I'm looking for like raspberry or something like that. Was it Chambord? You throw raspberries.
Right.
If you're wanting, use the real thing. So I highly recommend like looking at hibiscus flowers, rose flowers, anything like that. We use elderflower and hibiscus flowers in our mixes. So you can use any of that in any of your alcoholic drinks. And then summer's coming up, right? I mean, does everyone love Malibu? How about just coconut milk? Just a little bit of coconut milk goes a long way. It's still high, you know, in saturated fats. It's saturated fats, right? Yeah, 13 grams and a third of a cup. But it's way better than something that's most likely going to have high fructose corn syrup and a bunch of stuff. And I look at these cocktails, and, you know, I make cocktails at work all day long. And it's like, oh, it has this liquor, this spirit, this aperitif. And it's like, if you're drinking something, and it sounds really impressive, right? And it's like $15 a cocktail. And it's probably going to come out, and it's like 8 ounces, and it's shaken, and it's a beautiful vintage little glass. And you're like, oh my God, I feel so special. When you start adding alcohol on top of alcohol on top of alcohol, would you drink a Long Island iced tea? And that's my only question, because a Long Island iced tea is vodka, gin, rum, and whiskey. So would you mix all of those things? Do you think you're going to feel great after drinking like one of those impressive things? Probably not. So you can still keep it straight. You know, a lot of places do, you know, fresh juice, but this is primarily like if you want a cocktail at home and you want to do something just a little bit different. Yeah.
Absolutely. And this one, like you said, these are just ideas for what you can combine together. Like this one, if you don't like it sparkling, you can do it with plain water, with coconut water. You can do it with vodka. I mean, you can do it with whatever non-carbonated liquid that you want. And it's just kind of flavors. I like to kind of tell people what flavors go well together. The other one, I got ahead of myself and I couldn't decide between. So I actually have a watermelon and cucumbers sitting on the side. Because watermelon, cucumber, and mint is the other one that's like really, really good. Yeah, you could definitely throw some vodka in that. And I would do lemon with that. I love like the lemon and the watermelon. And yeah. So anyway, I'm glad that we did this one today. Cheers.
Cheers.
So good.
Well, at 4 o'clock, my evening just started. I'm just going to start drinking.
I know. We're good to go now. I'm about to make a lasagna. Like, it's going to be a good night.
Awesome.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Natasha, thank you for yours. We're definitely going to have to try
100%.
that. And we will see you next Sunday.